Okay, up next is another album from 1976. This one was completed uh, pretty quickly. From what I can remember, Jailbreak came out in March of 1976, and this came out in October or November of 1976, and I'm talking about Johnny the Fox. Now, I think they had a lot of downtime because one of their tours was canceled because I think it was here in America they were supposed to tour. And I think they did play a few dates, but then Phil became sick with hepatitis, and they had to cancel the whole tour. And I think during that time, Phil wrote more songs for the next album, and that became Johnny the Fox. I also have this on vinyl. This is a 2011 pressing, 180 gram vinyl. And the thing that's unique about this one is that, hold on here, colored vinyl. How cool is that? And I wasn't even expecting it to be on colored vinyl. Okay, so I like Johnny, great song. Borderline, Don't Believe a Word. Fool's Gold, which they put the lyrics to, or at least one verse here in the gatefold here. Johnny the Fox Meets Jimmy the Weed, Massacre, and other good songs. Rocky's good. And what else? Old Flame. Yeah, all the songs here are great, but those ones I mentioned are the ones I come back to the most, I think. So yeah, Johnny the Fox. Okay, next up, another studio album here, and that is Bad Reputation. Now, as the cover would suggest, Brian Robertson is nowhere to be seen. There's a reason why. From what I'm to understand, Thin Lizzy were on tour, and at one stop, one of the roadies he got into a fight at a bar, and being the good friend that he is, Robbo got into the fight and to defend his roadie buddy, and broke his hand. So he had to step away from the band for a while, and they got Gary Moore back in to finish up. But after the tour ended, they kind of didn't want Robbo back in the group for some reason. I think there may have been tensions between he and Phil. But whatever the case was, he wasn't on much of this album, but he did return once it was released, and he is on one song on here, Killer Without a Cause. Now, the producer for this album, Tony Visconti, who's best known for producing T-Rex and David Bowie. And I also have this on vinyl. This is a 2014 reissue of the album. Soldier of Fortune's good. I like the title track. Opium Trail, Southbound. Yeah, that whole side is great. Dancing in the Moonlight. Dear Lord is good. There's 3 songs I skipped over. I do like Killer Without a Cause. Downtown Sundown is sort of it feels like it doesn't fit with the rest of the other album because it's a very hard rock album. I do like that one that's gonna break your heart, especially that chorus. So yeah, really like Bad Reputation. It's one I come back to often. Okay, the next up is Live and Dangerous. First of their live albums there. This is my favorite album by Thin Lizzy. I said my favorite studio album was Jailbreak, but overall this is my favorite. Because all the songs on here are performed, I think, at their best. Now, there are some debates as to if the album was really recorded live. Tony Visconti said that Phil, Scott, and Robbo all came in saying they wanted to re-record their parts, and it ended up becoming 75% in the studio, 25% live. Which other band members have argued about and said, well, we don't know where he's getting those percentages from. I would like to think that, okay, maybe there was some studio work done on here, but comparing it to other live videos and other footage I've seen of Thin Lizzy and have heard at that from around that time, I think it's pretty darn close. So yeah, I really like this album, and I do have it on vinyl here. All right, so you can't really say what songs you like. It's a live album, but what do I like here? I do love Emerald. Emerald's great on here. It's much better live. Massacre is a fun song live. Still in Love with You, which is a great way for Scott and Robbo to showcase their skills. Cowboy Song is always fun live, as is The Boys Are Back in Town. Rosalie, I forgot to mention, which became the live version became a hit single for them. Are You Ready, which is a song I don't think they ever made a studio version of. They only performed it live, but yeah, that's on here. Baby Drives Me Crazy, Shalala, which gives Brian Downey some time to play drum solo there. Yeah, it's a great live album. If it's live or not, I don't really care because it sounds pretty legit to me. Sounds close enough. All right, next up is Black Rose. Now, by this time, Brian Robertson had left the group for good, and they brought back Gary Moore, this time as a permanent member. And this was the one and only studio album he played on. And I also have this on vinyl. This is the UK pressing on the Vertigo label. Now, Black Rose. For me, this is right behind Jailbreak. I think this is their second best studio album, at least my second favorite of theirs, studio-wise. Yeah, it's just a really great album, really hard rocking, pretty heavy. Lots of great songs on here. Do Anything You Want to Do. The Street in Town is sort of corny, but you know. Waiting for an Alibi, Sarah, which is about his daughter, Phil's daughter. Got to Give It Up is good. With Love and Black Rose. It's the big closer with all that wonderful guitar work. Yeah, I really like this album. I do like S&M, although it's a little strange for them to sort of go dirty all of a sudden on that one song, but there's great bass playing from Phil on that one, and again, all the songs on here are great. And you take Jailbreak, Giant the Fox, Bad Reputation, Live and Dangerous, and Black Rose. That's a great 5-album streak. Yeah, Black Rose. Alright, up next is Chinatown. 2 new members joined Thin Lizzy. Here it is, Chinatown. Replacing Gary Moore was a guy named Snowy White. He was a backing musician for Pink Floyd. And Phil decided to add a 5th member, a keyboardist, Darren Wharton, who I think at the time when this was recorded, he was 17 years old. Now, Darren isn't credited on this album as a member of Thin Lizzy. He is credited on the next album, but it's safe to say that he's an official Thin Lizzy member on Chinatown. There it is, Chinatown. Favorite song in here. We Will Be Strong's good. Chinatown. Sweetheart has some great guitar melodies. Sugar Blue's good. Kill on the Loose was a hit for them. Genocide, Killing of the Buffalo. Hey You's a good closer. The one thing I wanted to mention was that this, Black Rose, and Solo in Soho, Phil's first solo album, they were all recorded back to back to back. So he just wanted to get all these albums done. So they were almost recorded at the same time. And in doing so, Phil recycled some lyrics on Didn't I. There's the lyric of, there are people out here that say I don't give a damn. He uses the same lyrics on Ode to a Black Man on his solo album, Solo in Soho. Check it out. I'm not kidding. It's on there. It's just, it seemed like a good plan to make all those 3 albums like that. but one problem. He reused a lyric. Next up is Renegade. It's their last with Snowy White. Chinatown or this is better, I don't know. I think they're pretty even. But Renegade's great. You got Angel of Death, which is a great opener. The title track, which is wonderfully written. Hollywood Down on Your Luck is great. Fats, good. I do love It's Getting Dangerous. Mexican Blood is okay. Leave This Town, Pressure Will Blow, No One Told Him are all good as well, but those ones I mentioned first are the ones I really like. So, yeah. This is a good album. Renegade. And then 1983, with Snowy White leaving, they got a guy named John Sykes to replace him. And it was decided that the next Thin Lizzy album would be their last. And that album was 1983's Thunder and Lightning. Now, I'm really happy to say that I think this is their heaviest album ever. And what a way to go out with this album. The title track's great. This Is the One, good. The Holy War. I love Cold Sweat. The play count on my iTunes for that song is ridiculous. Bad Habits is a nice deep track. I like the other songs on here. The Sun Goes Down is good, and yeah, it's just a great way to go out, studio-wise, that is. But there you go. Well, that's their last studio album, their last album ever in their original tenure is Life Live. It's their second live album. Compared to Live and Dangerous, this pales in contrast, which pains me to say because there are some really good performances on here. You can tell just by listening to it that Phil is a little bit out of it. I think it may have been the mix of drugs and alcohol that he was taking at that point or consuming at that point. But that's good. I can't really think of any favorites. I guess the real highlights on here are during their last tour they brought out guest musicians. So they brought out Brian Robertson or Gary Moore for what was it, Emerald? No, they brought out Brian Robertson for Emerald. They brought out Gary Moore for Black Rose, and they brought back Eric Bell for The Rocker. They had all of them together for The Rocker. Or it was something like that. And it says right here, guest appearances, Gary Moore, Eric Bell, and Brian Robertson. So it was a big Thin Lizzy fest.